Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Thank you all for joining us today. After I finally got the equipment all squared away and I realized that the program I was using needed to be updated. So I did that and now everything looks like it's not that bad. Pretty decent, I should say. Hopefully it stays that way. Anyway, okay. First off, we're going to touch back with World of Tanks. We haven't touched it in a while because after Christmas, they usually don't have a lot to do until March. Things start to change a little bit. Not a lot. A little bit. Like as you can see right now, they have a new battle pass happening right now. I have no idea what the battle pass is. We're going to go in there, we're going to find out. I guarantee you that. If you're Irish like I am, this might be an exciting thing. Expect a lot of shamrocks. Okay, so let's get started. Let's see if we can get in here. Now, it's early here, so the servers are always fun. Playing MechWarrior Online servers are better at night. I don't know why. Wargaming servers are fine whenever. But the servers are a little bit busier at night with MechWarrior. So for future reference, if you feel like playing both games, World of Tanks, any server at any part of the day is just fine. There's always people. If you want to play MechWarrior Online, it's best to play it at night. Most people play that game at night. Nobody plays it in the morning like I'm doing. Right now, it's 10 o'clock in the morning right now, and I'm on World of Tanks. So, want to see how busy it is at 10 o'clock in the morning? Why don't we just jump in and find out? Okay, here we go. $217 at 10 o'clock in the morning. I would say that's a very good sign. 10 o'clock in the morning, most people are still sleeping. Yet people are still playing the game. Of course, not going on right away. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. What do you expect? But we are in a tank destroyer. So naturally, there's more people playing tank destroyers right now. So it's going to take us longer to jump in a game. So here's proof that it doesn't matter what time you play, there's always going to be a game. 10 o'clock in the morning is the worst time to play any game that's online. But apparently, this game, no problem. They got you covered. Whole team of people and a whole team of enemies. You can always depend on this game to have people just in case. Now here's the thing. The flag is right there. Everyone else is taking the outer rings, hoping to smash them like this. Personally, having this strategy is a good idea. What happens if the enemy just goes right for the flag? Hence the reason why I'm just sitting here. I'm waiting to see who's going to end up by the flag. And if I see anybody, I might just head down the middle and sniper them. Oh boy, we have water. Okay, we can't go that way. I might just head down the middle and snipe the base, in the hopes that I can stall the enemy team from capping, hoping that our team can get to the flag. Yes, I could go gung-ho right for the flag. That'd be temporal suicide right there. Is that building blocking me? Let's find out. Yeah, it is. Fuck me. I'm gonna have to sneak in very slowly. I can only get away with this because I'm a mid-tier, so. Oh, crap. I've just been spotted. Not anymore. Can't shoot me. Oh, you can. Fudge. That's what I was afraid of. But you can. And spotted again. That's what I was hoping to avoid. Fungal. Not what I wanted to do. One kill. One kill. That's it. One. That's one reason why you do not go straight down the middle. Because you have people from all... Now, I just proved one thing. The lights are running around, not spotting. I spotted more people at the base than lights did. How sad is that? And lights are still running around like jackasses. And I got one kill. And I still spotted more people. What does that tell you? That tells you that I had the balls to run up, spot people, get one kill, and die. Yes, I got this far and then died here because there was people. I died because there was people here, here, namely him, and people here. There's also somebody over here which I didn't spot yet, but I know they're there because I had a funny feeling. That there's somebody. Yeah, see? I knew there was somebody there. I had a funny feeling somebody was there. And all we have is him left. So, in a way, I died. But I did help my team because I was able to spot people at. See, they had both sides, and the lights weren't helping. So I went straight down the middle and very carefully made my way up. I forced them to expose themselves so I can spot them. Meanwhile, I had to turn the tank to do it, but so be it. For the most part, it worked. That was a good battle. Granted, it's very hard to spot anything with a tank destroyer because there's no turret. It doesn't mean it can't be done. Oh, it can be done. It's just very hard. For example, let's say you want to spot trying to think of a tank that I really have beefed up. Maybe? Maybe? I think I know one I might have beefed up for spotting. Nope, I don't. I cannot believe it. Yep, this one I do. I have this one beefed up for spotting. Because we have the optics and the telescope, both. This one's ready. Let's see what we can do to make it better. Okay, now we're only going to spot with this. That's it. Let's try it. An experiment, we'll say, okay? We're going to give this tank the best possible chance of spotting somebody. Because I do know for a fact that they made spotting not as easy to do. So you have to work harder and spend more money to get tanks to spot better. To get to where the tanks used to be, you have to actually spend a little more money. To spot normally with nothing on it is next to impossible. It can be done. The other T-50-2, I probably spot better than him. So I will see where he's going first. If I can ever see him. Where the hell is he going? Let me see where he's going first. He's going right there. So let's watch and let's see how much he spots. Meanwhile, I will stay right here and I'll make a sweep. Nope. See, I have a longer range than he does, so I can just get in there. Nope, nobody there. Let me see if I can see if we can spot what's over here. Because that mountain is sort of like, there's stuff blocking my spotting range. Stuff kind of blocking me over there, so I can't really see. Yeah, that tree is blocking me. So I gotta get in front of this tree. Okay, now we can see. And there's one. Let's see. Come on. Come on, you naughty boy. Show yourself. Where is... What the hell? May as well get my pot shot in. It's fun. Ooh, we got somebody up here. Track this guy for them. Hopefully I can track him. He's probably thinking, I'm free, I'm free. Nope, you're not. Now let's see. We're not doing that well. I'm taking a gamble that I might move up. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm invisible. Now, here's the thing. The artillery now knows where I am. So, now what we have to do is... This is a problem. Because they spotted me from the rear. Which sucks. Because there's nowhere to hide now. Did I just get a kill or somebody else get that kill? No, they got that kill. Well, he has no seniority. Wow. Okay. He must have just turned 6 years. He must have just turned 6 years. Because when you have the seniority tag, the number symbolizes how many years over 10 you are. So if it's 6, then 16 years you've been in the game. Mine should say 16, I think, because I've been in the game for 16 years. Jeez, has it been that long? Okay. Now, we could stay in battle. We could watch our teammates. We could do that. This game is not like... This game is not like MechWarrior Online, where you have to, stay in the game. You can get out, because you will get paid. This game, you will get paid if you exit the game. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to spot the enemy artillery. So I would have taken my shot immediately, but I don't know what he's waiting for. Kill the artillery first, and then worry about the tank. But that was a big mistake. I would have done it a lot different. I really would have. Where is that artillery? I know there's another one there somewhere, but... Technically, he can't hide. Because, I mean, this is covered. The only thing I'm thinking of is he must be somewhere. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the artillery might be here and here. Or the artillery might be saying, screw this, I'm going right for the flag. Which leaves him in danger. Let me warn the artillery. If this guy leaves, I'm telling him that. Because if he leaves, then there's no one to spot down here. So, as long as he stays right there, then the artillery should be fine. Should be fine. But I'm going to leave that there, and just in case he does leave, because that's... Meanwhile, you still have 2 artilleries, and nobody knows where they are. So you have to really worry about that. Not a good idea. Now, what I said before, I can now officially say, yeah. I knew as soon as he was alone, I told him that. I knew he was not going to stay there. I knew it. I knew he was not going to stay there. And because of that, I warned him. Because he's the only one at our base. And because he's the only one at our base, we run a very big risk of the enemy team rushing the flag to try and counter that. Which I think they're trying to do, but our team is sort of like on top of things. I think at the moment our team here is on top of it. Is that a mountain? Yeah, I think that's a mountain. See that? The Hellcat is the one thing I do worry about. The Hellcat could be heading back to the base. The Hellcat could be heading back here. Now, if I was an M6, and sure enough, guess what? There's the Hellcat. There's the Hellcat, guys. Now, you have the M6 and you have the French tank. M6, I'm not so worried about, because that tank right there, that Achilles, should be able to take care of him. The Hellcat, that could be a problem, because that Achilles is not that. There's the M6. Oh, that Achilles should have been able to take the M6 very easily. But apparently he didn't. I guess what my guess is, because the Achilles is a tank destroyer. On all tank, not all tank destroyers, some have a turret, some do not. The Achilles is just like my tank destroyer. it does not have a turret. So let me show you guys. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Allow me to show you guys. Okay, Tank Destroyer 101. These are all the tank destroyers I do have. Not in all countries. Okay, guys? Some have turrets, some do not. The ones I do have, this has a fully working turret. That's what was on the enemy side. Okay? Now, artillery could kill this in one shot by simply putting a shot right there. This is Audie's wet dream. Why? There's no armor here. Nothing. And Audie just places a shot right here. Everything inside the tank explodes and the tank dies instantly. No armor on top. Unfortunately, side, some pretty thick armor, I will say. That's not sheet metal. That's steel. But there's the armor right there. See that? That's steel. That's the armor. That's some pretty thick armor. That sort of armor is not that bad. So that can pretty much take a hit or two. Even if it does, the only thing here is the gun. Because the ammunition is stored right there. See it? That's where the ammunition goes. So if you want to ammo rack this thing, you have to punch through this right here. This is where the ammunition is. And this is very thick. You're not going to get through this very easily. Turret, yes. This, no. This is not easy to get through. That's why this is so fast. But by leaving the top wide open, you're absolutely making it easier for this tank to go faster. But you're leaving it wide open to get shot and killed. So if you really think about it, it's kind of a crapshoot in a way. There's really nothing you can do about it. Weak spots happen. Weak spots are going to happen because these tanks were made in the 1940s, early 1950s, during the time of World War II. So those are when tanks were being made not carefully, not calculatively, but fast and quick, and they had to get them in the battlefield as quickly as they possibly could. Now this tank is a big mistake. This tank looks like it has a working turret. It does not. This is a standard tank destroyer, just like the Soviet ones. In fact, it's just like this tank. This tank is the same thing as this tank. Treat it as such. You got me? If you own this tank, treat this tank just like this, and you'll do just fine. Okay? Because this turret has a range of motion which is like it wiggles. It has like a slight wiggle. Just like the regular tank destroyers do. It has a very slight wiggle. I mean, more. The Soviet tank destroyer, the gun wiggles. The American tank destroyer, the gun doesn't wiggle. The turret, this here, the turret wiggles. It goes. The gun does not move. The turret goes like this. 1, 2. It has a 45-degree angle. It moves at 45-degree angles. I mean, it's odd. Why didn't they just allow the turret to wiggle? Instead of making the entire turret move 45 degrees, why not just make the gun move 45 degrees and put more armor here? Because the problem with the moving turret is that if the turret doesn't move all the way, you now have a weak spot. And now the crew cannot help themselves and guard against that weak spot because they can't see. Because they can't spot. Because the only place to spot is right there. So they have to actually get out of the tank, expose themselves, and look. That's not good. That's not good at all. Of course, they have 3 scopes here. If you look very carefully, there's 3 scopes. 1, 2, 3. Again, they're all in the front. Do they have any in the back? Engines right here. Exhaust. Radio. Flares. There's a 3rd escape hatch. Probably for the gunner. That's for the commander. That's commander's hatch. That's the radio man's hatch, and that's the gunner and the loader's hatch. Although the loader might escape out of the commander's hatch, that's commander's viewpoint right there. That's the drive. I think that's where the driver looks out. No, that's the gunner's. No, the gunner's sight's over here. Gunner and loader's sight's up here. Because the gunner looks in the direction where he looks in all 3 of these. If he sees something, he'll turn the turret to face. So this is the range of motion of that turret. The turret goes this way because he's able to look out at all 3 of these and see where the enemy is. If he can't see out of those 3, that means he needs to turn the tank around, physically turn it around, so he can see. Technically, the person with the best view is the gunner. Like he should. Now the commander has that really big hatch. He could just pop this big ass hatch open and take a peek. Or the commander also has 1, 2, 3 viewports on all 3 sides, not just in the front. So if the tank needs to be turned around ASAP, he'll say, hey, there's tanks coming to our rear. Turn the tank around. And he'll say, hold on, somebody in front of us. Wait, hold on. So he'll fire, the gunner will fire, and then he'll say, okay, we're clear. Turn the tank around. So the commander will say, turn the tank around. And the driver turns the tank around. And the gunner is able to line up his sights. Now, here's the thing. When your gun does not wiggle, when your gun doesn't have what's called a pontoon is an area where there's a hole and there's a gun. And there's there's a big hole in the tank, like this. Except instead of that being a big solid block of steel here, the gun is recessed in the tank, and you have a hole with just big enough to fit the gun, so that the gun can be wiggled. This big module right here is way back in the tank, and just this is sticking out. So you're able to move this big square part left and right to wiggle the gun if you need to wiggle the gun without moving the tank. That's the purpose of them not having a turret, so that they're able to get the gun to wiggle. Because this part right here is inside the tank. Ammunition gets loaded right here. So in a way, you could put a really, really heavy penetration round right here, and the gun would explode. You'd break the gun, basically, if you did this. That's a weak spot with American tanks. American tanks, the turrets can go up. But even though the turrets can go up, it leaves the guns themselves exposed, which is not good. Now, you have, again, another problem. Here is a gunner sight. See that right there? Now, if you're on the battlefield and you're looking at this tank, first reaction is weakest spot, weakest armor is down here. Granted, you're correct. This is always going to be the weakest armor on a tank, no matter what tank it is. But it would be nice. It would actually be more fun to try and kill the driver. To do that, this is a sight. This is an open port with glass, only glass, just like this. Actually, no, this is a periscope. This is an open port with glass covering it. You can fire a shell straight into that hole. I mean, it's not a periscope. It's a hole with glass. And didn't have bulletproof glass back in the 1940s, so obviously just plain ordinary glass. That's my guess. These are periscopes. And if you shoot these, all you're going to do is you're going to hinder their ability to see. That's it. This too. This is also a periscope. This is not a periscope. This is a window. And this can be exposed if you aim it just right. Now that's a machine gun. Now, you would immediately assume the driver would immediately have a periscope. I would assume so, but I don't see it. Maybe these are periscopes? Maybe? Because I know these are headlights, which you don't see that often on tanks in the 1940s. But I guess this one has headlights. I'm guessing these must be periscopes. This one's probably the radio man, this one's probably the driver. Radio mans usually don't have windows to see out of or periscopes. They're told where people are and they relay the information back to the crews. A radio man's job is to simply relay information back and forth from one person to another. That's all their job is. So the radio man helps to know if there is anybody nearby that spots them. If a teammate spots an enemy, they immediately report to the radio man. The radio man reports to all nearby tanks. That's why in game, if you spot somebody, they pop up immediately, which means everybody else sees them. Because why? Because your radio man just told the entire team where that person is. So now all the tanks now know that there's a person over here. Now whether they choose to engage is their business. You're just letting them know for their information. If you can see them, your teammates can see them. Don't forget that. It's actually kind of hard. It's actually very difficult. Having a tank that you have no turret. For example, this one. This one is so tall that hiding it in bushes is not an option. I mean, if you hide this in a bush, it sticks up. So this is no good for camouflage. I mean, you can't hide this. And of course, the gun's not near big enough to one shot. So this, as a tank destroyer, not very good. This is a better tank destroyer. This is a bigger gun. So it doesn't matter if this thing has a turret. This has a bigger gun. It means the shells are bigger. Larger guns equal bigger shells. Bigger shells equal bigger boom. I think this is the 105 gun, I think Soviets have. It's a 130. Okay, I think the 130 is on the first KV2. Let me see. I think the 130 is on I think it's 152, 122, 107. One of these tanks has a 130, and I don't remember which one it is. Maybe this one had the 130. 122. 122. One of these tanks had a 130. See, now tier 8 doesn't even have 130. It just goes to show how big that gun is for the tier. See? That's not a 130, that's a 122. Now you're getting into tier 10. Tier 10 doesn't even have a 130. So it just goes to show that tank destroyers are what they say they are. Now, 122 and 130 is equal to the amount of millimeters of the barrel of the gun. The larger the millimeters, that means the larger the shell that is going to be projected through that barrel. So for the 130 millimeter gun, this is a tier 9, okay? Okay, this has a 122 millimeter gun. Now we're going to go back to the tech tree, just for the hell of it, and we're going to go back to the other tanks. We're going to go back to this one. I think it was this one. Okay, now we had a tier 9. It had a 122 millimeter gun. This has a 130 millimeter gun. This gun is wider. 122 would be this. 130 would be this. This can hold a larger shell. This can hold a larger shell. It doesn't mean it has it available. It only has these 3 shells available. Granted, 510 damage, 171 penetration, that's not too shabby. So let's see. T10. We'll use that one as an example. Tier 9. The low end gun, 390. $171 was 517. The best shell had 517. Now the best shell for the worst gun has 530. Tier 6 is almost able to skim. Almost able to skim a tier 9 gun. So that tier 7 tank destroyer has a low end tier 8 gun. That tank destroyer we had right there has a tier 8 gun. Actually, it could have a tier... No, it has a tier 8 gun. So that tier 7 has a tier 8 gun. Okay? This has a tier 8 gun on it. All tank destroyers have a gun that's 1 tier higher than it automatically. Because it has to be better in some aspects because it has no turret. That's the way they made them. Anyway, so they always made them bigger and heavier. Because they weren't moving anyway, so it doesn't matter. They're meant to stay put, stay still, and shoot and hit. That's it. They're not meant to move around. They're not meant to move turrets around, shift things around. That's not what its purpose is. Okay, now let's go in. I hate this tank. I don't even want to go in this tank. Most of you probably have this tank because this is a free tank. So I'm going to go over a bit about this tank. We're going to jump into battle. I'm going to explain some stuff. And why you should keep it and why you should get rid of it. There's two reasons why you should keep it. And one really good reason why you should get rid of it. First, why you should keep this tank. Let's hope we get the right team on the enemy side first. It doesn't look like we're going to have a very good battle. We're going to have ourselves a hard time here. Especially in this level. Now, you have a tank destroyer with a gun, with a turret that can't, with the gun that can barely move. Now, see what I was talking about before? I'm able to move the turret here and there. That's it. That's all the turret moves. That's it. Now up. It only moves up a little bit. Down a little bit. So this thing barely moves. See? My dot's here. The gun is aimed right there, which means the turret cannot move. And I can't steer it using the mouse. So I can't shoot them because I have to actually turn the actual fucking tank in order to shoot them. So this is what a tank destroyer does. Tank destroyer stays in one spot, finds a good cover spot, stays put, see if he's got a shot. No, unfortunately, they don't. I don't have a shot. Okay, this is not a good place for me to be. Heavies usually go... In this map, heavies usually go this way. Okay, guys? If you're a heavy tank, this is usually a place you want to go. Tank destroyers, you do not want to go here. Because there's no heavies here, I am going to sit here and keep my eyes open just in case. Because if they decide to come through here, I'll be ready. So you see, in this level, normally you have all the big heavy tanks moving from here all the way up here, and they move right through here and right to the flag. And you have tank destroyers going this way, light medium tanks going this way, and a few, maybe one light hurries ahead just a spot. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, covers this way, because nobody went this way, I am sitting here and covering this way, and he is here watching this direction. So if he spots anybody over here, I'll know to jump in and see he spotted him. Now I can jump in. I can jump in, turn, and face. Why? Because he spotted somebody. So now I can do the same. I can try to do the same. Of course, that little bit of range of motion that this turret does have does come in handy. See? It can't move all the way around, but it can move just enough so I can position myself and just sweep back and forth. So that's what this tank is good for. It's good for guarding. It's good for guarding locations. I'm keeping an eye on this location right here. Unfortunately, I was just spotted by somebody, and I know who it is. There's a light. Right there, see? Now, I can actually just go chase him down. Or, I can stay here, stand still, and wait for the camouflage to turn on. That means I'm not spotted. That means it can't see me. But my last known location will be here, which means I can't stay here. I have to move. My last known location will be right here. So I have to move. I can't stay here. See, because I was spotted here, now they're going to start moving up toward the middle. So now I need to be careful. See, now they know that there's people coming up the middle. So now you can see more. That's why lights are such a pain in the ass. Funny feeling that the side, I think a funny feeling all the heavies are dead. So that side's wide open. I think I'm going to have to turn around and go back to base because funny feeling we're going to have to go back to base. Okay, let's go back to base. Yep. And they're waiting for me. And they're waiting for me, I'll tell you that. Shit. Not my kill, but I freaked him out enough to give to make him lose focus. Not much. I don't got much left, guys. See, now this tank is decent, but this tank really sucks. For a tank destroyer, it's not bad. But it has things that it sucks about. I want to move up and move up like they do. But it's best for me to just hang back and wait. Of course, until you see somebody spotted, then you go balls to the wall. Until when somebody gets spotted, you immediately go for it. I'm going to make sure that artillery does not get killed. That's my goal. My goal is to make sure the artillery does not get killed. Nice shot. God damn. Good shot, artillery. Good shot. Nice game. See, now, even though that thing does not have a turret, it does have uses. It is a free tank, yes. You're not going to get a tremendous amount of kills with it. No. But you can have a good game. And a fun game. So, not bad for a free tank. It didn't cost you a dime, this tank. And yet, you were able to have a good fun game. Which is what this game is all about, having fun. You can have a fun game, not have 15 kills like most people get obsessed over. Screw that. You can have a fun game. You can spot people with this tank because the tank does move a little bit. Because the turret rotates a slight bit, you are able to spot people a little bit. So you can add things in here if you want to. Now, what I did was I improved the turret rotation speed. Okay? And improved the hull traverse speed. So the turret moves faster now, and the hull moves faster. It rotates faster because of this. Because this has a turret, and it needs a turn using its treads, both. Because it doesn't go all the way around. I figured, may as well put this down. Now, this is to help yourself. This is to help yourself stay concealed as best as you can. And this is to assist in reload times. Reload times for any tank destroyer, especially when you have ammo that has high damage, like say this one, although this is an average shot, this is what's called a gold round. Gold round means that the damage potential is exactly the same. But the penetration, look at the penetration. 276, 245. Shell velocity, 1,240. The standard round, 232 to 220. Shell velocity, 1,067. Big difference. But it costs 4,000 credits per shell fired. So if you're going to randomly not aim and just shoot at whatever breeze, you do not want this in front. Because every time you fire one of these out, you have to pay 4,800 per shell fired. Okay, guys? So if you intend on just peppering or testing the waters, put it in the back and have this in front. These bullets are meant to just pepper shells out randomly, okay? These shells you could pepper shells out at tanks just to do like 2 or maybe 3 damage. Do something. Anything. You know for a fact that that gun and those shells are not able to do any damage, period. So your main goal now is to basically so your main goal now, okay, this people bothering me is ridiculous. Try and do a video, people, leave me alone. Okay, anyway, let's just say we keep it normal and we use normal shells, cheap shells, and gold rounds. Let's say we reduce the gold rounds and match and try to match the shells. Okay, all shells have almost the same. Now, it's not going to cost us $10,000 to fire a shot. But it's also not going to be as easy to damage. So, let's see the difference. We're going to play another round with this tank. Except I'm going to try to shoot and damage a tank. We're going to try this. I'm going to try different shells and show you guys the difference between the shells. Now, the shell you use all depends on what you're firing at. If you're firing at a heavy tank, you want to make sure you have a high penetration, okay? Heavy tanks, extremely high penetration. Know your shells. This shell has an extremely high penetration rate. This has a low penetration rate. This is medium. Damage, exactly the same. Except for this one. This one has a higher damage with low penetration, which means it will do something to a tank automatically. But it's not going to penetrate the tank. It's never going to penetrate the tank. The shell explodes. And if there's any open cracks, it's going to damage whatever's inside the tank. So, knowing this, now we know which shells to use and which shells never to use. Now, we could go up there. Now, what they're doing is they're doing what's called staging. With a medium tank or a heavy tank, you stage. You go up just to take a peek physically peek over and see what's on the other side. And see where the enemy is. So you know where to position yourself differently. Okay, now we're going to do it again. Okay, now there's nobody peeking anywhere near. I have a funny feeling somebody's on our left side. We're going to have to disappear. Ready? Watch. Head for a bush. 10, 9, oh. Nah, boy, go. Nope. We were spotted. The reason why we were spotted was because we were, again, staging. This is something that people do in this game a lot. People know this, so people are going to come right off and kill you. That's the reason why some people do the staging bit. A lot of people do the staging bit. Some people do not. The staging bit is a commonplace thing to do. I mean, just spot. Just to kind of keep your eye and hold that hill. That's the idea. But there was a Progetto. No, I don't think there's anybody there. I got... See, he thought I had somebody behind me. He thought I had somebody right here. And they shot me from behind because they could see me. And they can't see me from here. But see, the thing is, because I was moving, because tank destroyers do not have turrets, they have to move their tanks. And when they move the bottom parts, they get spotted very easily. Very easily. Too easily, actually. So, unfortunately, that's the breaks. Oh, now they're starting to blame each other now. Sure, blame each other for your loss. I think we're all guilty for this one. I think everybody has a place in the guilt. I tried to help the artillery. I play artillery all the time. Artillery doesn't realize that everybody's dead. So they just keep scanning. They keep scanning to see if they see anything move. But they don't realize their entire team is dead. When you're in artillery, you don't realize your entire team is dead. Why? Because you're too busy looking for enemies. You're not looking for teammates, you're looking for enemies. When you're in artillery, you need to pay very close attention to your teammates, the amount of teammates left over. You need to be very careful. Okay, guys, we're going to end this video right here, the way it is right now. This is just a little tidbit about tank destroyers and how I like to play them. Not how they should be played, but how I like to play them. Okay, guys? I will go into more detail in another video. But for now, this was the basics on how I enjoy playing tank destroyers. Some people like to run them around the battlefield like their ass is on fire. I don't like to do that. Tank destroyers are meant to be a support role. They play a very important support role, and they keep the base secured and safe. At the same time, you have to keep yourself secured and safe, because you have to be the eyes for the artillery, and you have to protect the artillery. It's your job to keep the artillery safe from invaders, because the invaders will happen. Of course, if you're playing this game, people will invade the base. So you need to have somebody at the base to protect the artillery. I had my eyes open on the middle part because nobody was going down the middle part. I was keeping my eyes open for the artillery. So if anybody showed up in the middle, artillery would eat them for breakfast. Why? Because I had eyes on the middle part. You see, wherever people don't have eyes, you need eyes. You need to have eyes looking at places. Now the sides, everybody was going down the sides, not one board, right? Everybody. Nobody went down the middle. I went down the middle. Why? Nobody was there. Artillery, how's the artillery supposed to shoot there if it can't see anything? I spotted 2 or 3 people there. Artillery knew, oh my God, there's one tank there. I need to make middle a priority now, because he's all alone. I need to cover him. So artillery is immediately going to shift his focus to the middle from now on, because he knows there's only one guy there, and he knows I spotted somebody, so he's going to take shots. You have to assume, as soon as you spot somebody, you immediately, if you have time and you're not spotted and you spot them, you can ping the map, attention to this part. Heads up, we got company. Artillery will shift their focus to you and what you're looking at. Okay, guys, that was just a little tidbit for this week. I want to go over different tank types and how to play them. My main goal is to go over different tank types and how to play them. Now, what I want to focus on next week is tank destroyers that don't have the ability to move a turret, like this one. I want to focus on tanks like this. How do you play tanks like this? Okay, guys? There's a lot of ways to play tanks like this. We're going to go over all of them next week. Okay, guys? We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. If you like the content, please give us a like. Thank you very much. Please comment down below. We really need your input because I'm really reaching for ideas. So I need your help to give me ideas on what you want to see. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.